AI Automation Full Course for Beginners In-Depth Tutorial. This complete beginner-friendly course will teach you how to build AI automation systems from scratch. You will learn the fundamentals of automation, how AI tools work, and how you can connect your apps and platforms, build your workflows, automate repetitive tasks. By the end of this tutorial, you will understand what AI automation actually means. So let's actually get started. Before we touch any tools, let's understand what AI automation actually is. AI automation is when you combine artificial intelligence like AI writing, AI summarizing, or just AI task generation with automated workflows, meaning that you have a trigger and then action systems. So instead of manually creating tasks, writing emails, assigning team members, or following up with clients, your system is going to do it for you. Think of it like this: when something happens, your system automatically responds. For example, when a new client fills out your form and you want to get notified that the form has been filled and submitted, so you can go ahead and review. Or when a project is created into your list, you can see the update and have it automatically respond. Also, when deadlines are added, you're going to see the deadline and get the notification. All of this is going to work automatically, and that is AI automation. And we're building it inside ClickUp. Now you might ask, why ClickUp or automations? It is because ClickUp is powerful and it has built-in automations, it has built-in AI, which is the ClickUp AI, or the ClickUp agent that you can use as a helper while you are managing your team members, or especially if you're a project manager and you are managing and organizing everything inside ClickUp, then this is going to act as your helper. It also allows you custom fields, so anytime you store in projects or add in more tasks, you can just change the custom fields and customize them to your personalization. It also supports integrations, and it works for agencies, freelancers, businesses, and content creators. So you don't need to shift to a different app just because you're a small business owner or if you're working professionally. Instead of using 5 different tools, we can just centralize everything inside ClickUp, especially if you run a marketing agency, a content creation team, a freelance service, an e-commerce store, or even YouTube automations. ClickUp can become your automation hub. Now let's start with setting up our ClickUp workspace properly and the kind of mindset we need so that everything is working accordingly. Most beginners fail at automation because their workspace is messy. Automations only work if your structure is clean. So first, inside ClickUp, just create one main workspace, and inside here you're going to create one single space, and inside here you're going to have folders. Now we have 2 main spaces, one is for marketing and one is for client. This is the space that we're going to use for this guide. We created a single space for all our clients. Now we have different clients in here, like client 1. You can go ahead and make another list for client 2, so all of the information related to this is stored directly inside this list, especially the tasks that are related to the project that you're working on. Now, if you go over to client 1, you can see that here are some tasks that are pending and we haven't started working on. And then here's also a backlog of the complete client onboarding. You can also go ahead and add in descriptions if you like. That way your team members are also notified and updated without having to communicate back and forth and waste hours. Now, let's say you run a marketing agency, so your dashboard is going to look like this. Now, here's the key. Before automating anything, ask what repeats. Automation works best for repetitive processes like client onboarding, content publishing, weekly reporting, lead follow-ups, or team task assignment. Pick one process to automate first. Now let's go ahead and build a form, which is going to be our client onboarding form, because that is something which is going to be repetitive, because that is going to repeat throughout our entire work timeline. Simply click on the plus next to the space. We're going to click on a new form. Now, ClickUp is going to provide you with a bunch of templates or just suggestions on what you want your form to be. We can simply just go with a project intake. Now, anytime a client is going to suggest a new project, or if you're just taking in projects, this is going to work fine. Now, we have the form already in our space, And now let's build a real system. When a new client signs a project in this form, we want the project created, we want the tasks automatically generated into ClickUp list, and then we also want deadlines to be added. We want the team to be assigned and notified so everyone can know their roles and start working on it. We also want the AI to generate a thank you or a welcome to the workspace note, and here's how we're going to do. Now, either you can send this exact form to your client manually, but anytime you have a new project intake from the same client, maybe, for example, let's say you're working with a very important client and they give you or just assign you projects every week of the month. That is 4 projects and you want to get started with it every time. Now you can either send this form to them 4 times a month, every Monday of the month, so they can fill it out, or just before that, or you can just automate this form into your client 1 space or client 2 space, so that way anytime someone fills it in, you actually get the notification and you don't have to send it to them. Now how automation is actually going to work, you're going to go over to client 1 or just the client that you want the workspace to be automated. You're going to go over here and click on automations. Now, here are some of the AI fields that already allow you to enable the automations. You can also go ahead with auto assign, meaning that sometimes when the AI agent has the meeting recording or just the summary, and anytime something is mentioned, someone's name is mentioned to assign, you can simply turn this on. You can also enable all of these tools like the client onboarding status. Like we mentioned earlier, we're simply just going to have this, and it is just going to extract our current status of the client onboarding process from the task description or comments. Now, it may ask for more permissions. If you want to go ahead and customize it, you can do it and simply click on create. The automation is going to set live and you're going to see that the status is also set live. Now, if you go over to the automations again, this can just provide you with AI fields or other automations. If you want customized automations or just want to create your own trigger, that is also possible because you would want to level up. You can start from the basics, but once you actually want real work to be done here, you can simply click on create automations. Even though you're starting almost from the scratch, this is going to be really easy. Once you click on create new automation, this is also going to provide you with different categories or just suggestions that you can make. If you go over to project managing or marketing, you're going to see some of these automations that are already there. Now, right here, you can go ahead and select them if you like. If you need a head start, you can do this. But to understand templates, you need to understand the basic structure first. So we're simply going to go back to add automation, meaning that we're going to start from scratch. Now, anytime a task is updated or a subtask is made, you're actually going to see it on the screen. You're going to get the notification and that is going to be our trigger, meaning that there are going to be 18 properties. You can go ahead and deselect the ones that you don't want. Like we can just go ahead with the dependencies and that is it. It is saved. Now, once you click on create, the automation is naturally saved and just set to live, meaning that your automation is running. So anytime you do add a new task, you get a notification. All of your team members are going to get a new notification. You can also connect all of these to your Discord server or your channels directly, which makes it even easier. So when you go ahead to channels in general, you are going to get the automation notification here directly. Now you can also remove team micromanagement inside your onboarding list, which is really useful because you can just automate task assignment. If you go over here and we go over to our board view, you can just create custom fields like service types, SEO, social media, website, or the ads. Then you can also add in statuses like priority levels or budget tier. Now you can go ahead and create an automation like this That is going to help you. And that way you can also create automations, like when the service type is SEO, then you can assign it to SEO manager. And when the priority is high, to set the due date to 3 days. This is powerful because now your system thinks for you, and you don't need to manually assign tasks. Your business runs based on logic. That's true automation thinking. You can also build a content system entirely based on the automation, so that way your content production is just created on statuses. If we go over on to our statuses or just task types, you can go over here. Even when you go over to creation, you can just have a task created and set it to custom fields. Like right here, we have a task or subtask created, and we are going to set it to a custom field depending on the client onboarding status or just depending on the production. Now, anytime a status is just going to change, the task is going to be assigned to someone new. We can simply just have it assigned to the files. We can also add in more options or just relationships, like change the statuses, and we're going to select a status, like go over to approved. Once it is done, click on create, and that is how the automations are set live. Anytime you click on create, you're going to see the increase in the number of automations, meaning that your automation are working. Now you can also just combine all of this with AI. When you go over to automation, you see create an AI field. You can turn this on with progress updates or just onboarding completion day. Simply just turn these triggers on and click on create, so everything is set live for you. You can also just go inside the script task or just use the ClickUp AI while you write YouTube script about AI automation for beginners, and AI is just going to draft it and your writer is going to edit it. You save 60% of your time simply by making simple and small automations and just using the AI agent as a helper. That is AI powered workflow automation. Many beginners forget this, but automation isn't only about AI. It's also about removing repetitive workflow, meaning that you can just remove the weekly team meetings and just keep adding these things manually into your workboard or just monthly reports. The AI can just make the monthly reports for you based off the workflow of the entire workspace and the team. You can also get the client invoice reminders. In ClickUp, you can go over to the automations and you can just set in your tasks and make them recurring. You can either choose every Monday or just every first or the end of the month. Now you're never going to forget and you don't need to rely on your memory. Your system is going to handle it all. Now let's talk about the next level of automations that you can start. You can also integrate ClickUp with Google Forms, email tools, or just APR. If you head over to integrations right here on your dashboard of automations, you're going to see all of these. You can simply click on your email if you want to connect your email, and this is going to just provide you with a bunch of templates or just a little structure to start ahead. Now, anytime the priority changes or when a due date arrives, that way you can just set a reminder so your client or your team members are notified, and that is full end-to-end automation. And yes, beginners can also do this. Simply scroll over and go down to integrations, and you're going to see a bunch of applications. Just connect integration and just choose the triggers, and the actions are just going to be suggested, or you can click on the plus and add new actions and triggers. Now everything is going to look professional and just put together once you put all of this live. You can also go over to dashboard and create a new and just add widgets, and you can see what is pending, what's overload, and what clients are delayed, which is automation visibility. You don't chase the updates, the dashboards just show you everything. If you go over to our main dashboard and we go over to our inbox, we're going to see the notifications of everything that is assigned to us. There is nothing assigned yet, but anytime we assign a new task to ourselves or anything is assigned to us by someone else, we are just going to get notified every single time. First mistake is automating everything at once. You need to start small, and at first you can just try to enable the already given automations and AI workflows, so you get used to the workflow and how you're actually going to manage how the AI is going to work for you. Once you understand it, you can go ahead and build your own automations from scratch. Also, just start with one workflow. You don't need to start with everything at once. You can scale up to bigger automations and more complex workflows. Another mistake that beginners make is messy task names. Once you're creating tasks, just make sure that everything is simple. Like right here, we have written content calendar creation and keyword research. Now, this is a really complex task because we don't know what research we actually have to do. There isn't a specific keyword, it's just written keyword research. And there is no description, meaning that this is going to be a little hard for our team members to understand, especially if they were not in the meeting with the client directly and you are just assigning the task to them without providing any more information or deliverables or any attached files. The automation is going to rely on your structure, so you need to add relatable details and an actual task name that is valid. Another mistake is people don't do any testing after setting an integration or just an automation live. Always test your automation before using it with real clients. And another mistake that beginners make is overcomplicating the logic. You don't need to overcomplicate the logic. Keep it simple. Add 1 or 2 triggers, or just add 1 trigger and 1 action. You can create many integrations. You can create small automations, and then you can also connect them together once you understand the concept and the structure. You can keep it simple for now and then scale up gradually, and that is it. Now, let me summarize everything into one flow. Client fills the form and then tasks are created, the templates are applied, and the due dates are set, and the relative fields are also set accordingly. You need to connect all of these workflows accordingly so you actually have the workflow working, and that's the AI automation. And you built it without coding inside ClickUp. Now, this is going to work perfectly for marketing agencies, freelancers, virtual assistants, or YouTubers, even student entrepreneurs. If you're doing repetitive work manually, then you need automation. Now, AI automation isn't about replacing humans, it's about moving less effort so you can focus on strategy, creativity, and growth. In 2026, business that automates actually wins. Those who rely only on manual systems actually struggle. And the good news, you don't need to be technical, you don't need to code, and you just need structure. And that is it for today's complete AI automation full course tutorial for beginners using ClickUp. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming tutorials on AI systems, automation tools, online business growth, and digital productivity. If you want more in-depth tutorials like this and more guides on AI tools, then leave a comment below and let me know what you want next. Also, feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions related to automations or related to any of the videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.